Okay, welcome back to Stotts Fine Art. Just want to finish this up. Some finishing touches up here. It's needs some final coats of paint. Um, Down over here, I wanted to get some color, some flowers, just a few things. I've got a kind of a silly mistake in perspective. I've got this inner panel should be over here, where our point of view is from the right to left. So need to repair that. Just always just look for things when I'm finishing up. Just look for little technical errors or just whatever jumps out at you. So I want to put some shadow in here and then cover this up with the Adobe and just reverse that. Okay, let me mix up some this Adobe color. Basically just an orange and can use white. I've got some light warm gray here. It works pretty good. And in fact, really, I'm going to put some white. I thought I had some white on my palette, but I didn't. Let me grab that right quick. Lighten that up. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. I noticed this as soon as I finished the piece. Finished the video. I was looking at it. I thought, oh my gosh, I've got the perspective all wrong, where that door was. So kind of a silly mistake. Now I just want to put that shadow where you can see the inner side of the thickness of the Adobe on that side. So I've got some raw sienna, maybe a little bit of black. It's a little too much. See how this looks. You would see the shadow on this side. Okay, that looks a lot better. And okay, well, I've got this Adobe color. I want to put another layer here. I don't want it as light as this, but I want it lighter than that. And I want to clean up these little vigas around here, these little beams. I had they're a little bit of a pain, you know, on these Southwest Adobes. And I was in a gallery for about a year in Santa Fe, and I took a painting. I just left the little vigas off. I just thought, well, people won't care that much, and the gallery owner told me he was getting complaints. They wanted to see those, and so I got a little lazy, and people, dadgummit, they wanted to see those, and I don't blame them. So sometimes you get called on it when you leave a few things out, and you should put it in. Okay, so it's a little bit darker Adobe color. a little too dark. Add just a little white here. Okay, so see, you've got to do a little bit of custom work along those things. So they are a little bit of a pain to put in, but they are necessary. You see that a lot out there, and people want that flavor. Not just in the food, but in the art. My hand and some of this is starting to dry, but it was a little bit wet. I think I disturbed it a little. Yeah, that's good enough. It's fairly impressionistic. Don't need a lot of super hard edge. Now, one thing I want to put a little more detail, just a kind of that round edge. And I want a little bit of shadow underneath these oh, not dark enough. Still not dark enough. Let's see there. Just want to kind of ground them to the building with some little bit of shadow. I'm just mixing here off camera. So one thing that always takes a little time, just the mixing, and I wanted to cut those back, so I was just mixing up another little bit of lighter Adobe color, so maybe not so much shadow that I just put in. Okay, that's just about good enough for that. All right. Now, something here. I've got wanted a little bit of a little more softness at the edge of these bushes. I've got these hard little. Must have had a square point or a square point shovel. A flat brush, which is like a little square point shovel. So that's transition looks a little harsh, so I want to take a little bit of green, light green, and soften those. So I'll dry brush it here. Just, it's a little lighter than I wanted. Let's see. Try that again. I'm trying to use a smaller flat, which is also that square point. I thought it would be okay, that small area. That'll work, but it was usually a round gives you a little softer transition. But funny, these videos, I speak in front of classes live, and I have more that seems easier than speaking in front of a camera for some reason. You'd think wouldn't be, but it's kind of I got to get used to the speaking in front of that camera. Okay, just a few little light spots in here. Lighten that up just a bit. And I want just a little bit of floral on this, so just some dry brush. I'm going to grab another, get a small round here, or a filbert. Let's see, no, here's a round, just a small round. Let's do some little, just some pink, any kind of color of flower. So some cadmium red light. Oh, hit that with the palette. Okay. And some white. Give us some little blossoms, and again I just want to dry brush a bit, so I take some of that off, and then keep them fairly soft. The whole painting's done fairly soft with soft edges. So when I put some detail in, you have to kind of decide, do I want it kind of dry brushed in? Maybe a few little highlights, but I don't want to change the stroke style too much. And I was trying not to get a pattern with anytime I'm dotting something in. It's just temptation to create a pattern in the same size where you're just like all of a sudden you've just, done that. And so if you see a pattern forming, then just you just break it up, like combine into a little bit bigger clump of flowers or whatever is creating the pattern, and get rid of that. It just doesn't look natural. Nature's a lot of times very random, something like that. Sometimes nature has a very organized, patterned look, but a lot of times it's not. It's okay. Maybe just to tie these two together, maybe there's a little window box back there or something like that. And just let those fall into the door or the walkway a little bit. And then maybe let's say maybe we could lighten up back in here. We'll put maybe a different color back there or something, so they can see that it's in the back, not connected to these. So. Okay, got a little bit. We'll see if I can finish this out. I might need to add some greenery there. Yeah, I probably do. Sharpen that up a little, color it up a bit. Okay, and over here, maybe a just into that a little better. It's a little unfinished looking. It's it's nice and soft, but it's a little bit unfinished too. So. And then let's put that. See if you're getting that. Let me look at the monitor. Move that just a little. Barrel this beezer. Okay. It's a little unfinished. We need to close that up with some foliage. Okay, we'll go back to the flower color, and there we go. And then back here, let's put a little light somehow, lighten the green, and maybe that's all we need. Get a lighter green. Just getting some white Coker's green and a little bit of raw sienna, so keep that olive green feel. Alright, so back in here. It gives a feeling of walking through. It opens that up a little bit. We needed that a little lighter, I felt like. Maybe even a few lighter spots. We had some white and even a few more. There, it looks a little more like you can walk into it. We could put a little flower color, and maybe since we've got some of this light, maybe a bit of light up here, kind of tie that together. You know how that looks like it's running up behind that. And maybe a little bit here if we're going to do that. Put a little bit. So it's needed a little lighter value to match. So once we do that, sometimes to chain reaction, you know, we need to put a little all through here. That lightens that. I needed a little bit more light. This was still, some of the dark was a little too dark, that underpainting. And we could do maybe a little more color on that. We could stick with this pink. Bring some of it down to the road, maybe a few fallen blossoms. Some over here, and then you know, getting pretty near the end. Maybe a couple little details. Let's see. Like a little flower pot, maybe sitting on that Adobe wall. I'll get black and red, make a little terracotta clay pot, maybe. And let's say maybe small ones here. Maybe sitting on that Adobe, just something simple, just a little more detail. And maybe it has a little light hitting the side of the pot there, and then a little shadow off of it, and then just on top some of the same color. You don't have to overdo the detail. Put a few little green leaves in that. Yeah, that's probably good enough. Right down there it bothers me a little. I want to get some Adobe color and clean that back up just a bit. Just nitpicking now. It's for the most part, I think I've finished it. But if I see a little something that bothers me, you know, just go ahead and fix it while I'm still working on it. Okay, so clean that shadow coming down looks a little sloppy for some reason to me, so thin it down here. There, it lays in there a little better. So, and it's not really popping out. I don't really want it to. That's a small little detail. It's kind of in the distance, so I want it to just be there, but not be so loud. One thing you see a lot, so let's just get some more flavor. The little ristras, you know, the little red peppers. We could hanging. Hanging. You could put one right there. So I got a little bit darker red, and then I want for shadow, and then a little light red for some light, those individual little red chili peppers. On top of that, and so you see well here. Okay, and then just so, still looks a little flat. Let me, just so the viewer can tell a little more about it. You know, there's usually a little bit of greenery on top of the chili pepper, and again, that's a little bit, it's not loving that at all. It's a little bit loud, so I want to do what I tried to do at first, put some darker red in there. Then I you know, knocked it out too much, kind of obliterated the shadow, so I just got a flat red color, which bothers me. It's I feel like I need to fix that. So see if I can come in and put some shadow in after the fact. So a little detail, wasn't really planning. I just thought, well, I'll throw that in, and it's kind of, it'll get you sometimes. Those little afterthoughts, you think, I wish I hadn't have touched that. Of course, with acrylic, you can just take it right out too. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. When that dries, it might probably dull down, flatten just a little bit, and tell you what, I'm trying to tie that in, maybe some of this pink. Tie it into this. So, okay. I think that's probably good enough. One thing I'll let that dry, and I may cut that size back so I can cut it in with some Adobe color here, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Might as well finish it just to take a minute. So mix up some of the Adobe color and just cut it. Cut it back. And I'm running out of white right when I need a little more. Okay. I'm just cropping. I've got this opaque medium, so you can pull yourself out of a jam. Just an opaque crop, and that's okay. All right. Well, I need to sign it. So I always use a script brush, and I lefty, so I tend to sign in the lower left. So let me maybe mix up a little bit of the pink color or the light green. I'm going to go lighter than that, so I'm going to have some white in it, and I'll do kind of a light pale green here, some green and white, and raw sienna, and need just enough water in it for it to flow. Okay, so to steady myself a little bit. Okay. Well, that's about does it, I think. Let me show you a couple of close-ups. See, you see the grain of the canvas. See how we cropped back some of these trees. They were overpowering earlier, the last part. See some of that. There's that troublesome little ristra. And then the Adobe color. Okay, from Stotts Fine Art. Thanks. Like and subscribe if you find any usefulness in this. Hope you do. Hope you had a little fun watching it. I had fun bringing it to you. And okay, bye-bye.